All right, so we are going to be using an online product called Onshape, which I have never used before, but so far, as I've tested it out, it's kind of like a web-based inventor, and so we're going to be using it to model some 3D objects. First, some things that I tell you exactly what to make, and then eventually something that you're going to create yourselves. So to do that, go to Onshape or cad.onshape.com. It's linked in the first assignment. Sign in, make sure that it's linked to your Google account. And then when you get to this page, we're going to make a new drawing by pressing create and then document, which is the top one. When we're naming the document, I would encourage you to do A1 for activity 1. I'm not going to have worksheets just because we don't know how long or in what units this digital learning is going to take place in. So I'm using A1 for activity 1 and then P1 for part 1 or problem 1. And then we'll use our last name again. I put a dash in between. You can do whatever you like, but activity 1, part 1, and your last name. And then with the free version, all of our documents will be public, which will be fine. Once you get to this screen, it would be good to close this features and parts menu. That will be more useful to us later in this unit, but for now, the more workspace, the better. And then I'm going to split screen it by either clicking and dragging the window or using Alt with the curly bracket to the right to make it on the right side of the screen. Over here on the left side of the screen, I've got this activity 1 worksheet up, which should remind you of an assignment that we've already done. We've multi-view drew these blocks, and now we're going to model them in Onshape. So the first thing I'm going to do is right-click the front plane. Really, you can use any of these planes, but I usually start on the front plane because then the shape that I'm going to focus on over here is this kind of trapezoidal one. It's a pentagon, not a trapezoid. Anyway, I'm going to right-click this plane, and I'm going to click the top option, which is New Sketch. When I do that, right now it's changed, and we can tell that it's changed because the sketch menu has popped up, but the screen doesn't look different. So I'm actually going to use this view cube up in the top right. I'm going to click on the same view as the plane that I just clicked on, and what that's going to do is it's going to change the view so I'm looking directly at that front plane. Then I'll use the line tool, and I'll click the origin just as a starting point, and here's the biggest difference between Onshape and Inventor that I've found so far. And if you've used Inventor, this is going to take you a little bit of getting used to, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to click where the line starts and then click the direction you want the line to go before you type the dimension. So right now, if I type any letters, nothing will happen. But if I click here, then my numbers become editable, and I can say, well, I want to go vertically here in the corner. I want to go up 2. And so I'm going to type the number 2, enter, and then what it does is it sets the dimension of that line to 2. So same thing, now I want to go across the top of my object. I'll click the direction first, edit my number to 2, and now we are in kind of a complicated place because now we have this angle, and I don't know the length of that line. I don't know what angle it's going at. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go from this top corner, which is where we are right now, straight down, and then over here so I can connect them back up. So the amount that I'm going to go down is 1. There it lined up because that's a midpoint with the first line, but I could also type the number 1. And then I'll click over to the right and type in the number 2. So you can see that even is going off of our screen a little bit. If I re-click the front, it'll zoom out so we can see the entire shape. And now I'll go up and connect back up here. Now, because I've enclosed a shape up here, that triangle has turned gray, but we really want this entire side of the shape to be gray. So we're going to go back to the origin, go 4 inches over, and 1 inch up.